Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Marvelous Monday. I'm Leslie Watkins. Happy Monday, it's the beginning of a new week and I've got a lot of news to share with you today. We've got 3 more days until the end of Sale-A-Bration, and so today is going to be the second day. Oh, I have to check my calendar. I think it's the second day in my Sale-A-Bration burst. And I have some news to share with you. So the good news is that you still have 3 more days to be able to get free product with every $50 and $100 that you buy fine paper crafting supplies and materials. But the bad news is supplies are running low, so a lot of things are running out, and I'm going to show you what you have left to choose from. So let's get started. So in the Sale-A-Bration brochure, and I'm just going to zoom you in a little bit so you can see better. And you'll have to double check me on this because sometimes there might be some replenishment, but so far as I know, the bedazzling paper is gone. And I'm not sure about this one. This is the Penguin Designer Series paper. That may be out of stock as well. You can still get the Feels Like Home stamp set, which is a really nice stamp set. Also, this wonderful DSP, the Beautifully Penned, and I'm going to be showing you a video this week on using that in a project. The wonderful Christmas paper, this is one of my favorites. This is still available, so no problem there. And the sheep set is available, but the really bad news is that the dies are no longer available, which is really kind of a bummer for me because I wanted to share with you my Counting Sheep board game project. So for this project, you really do need to have the dies, and I know that many of you have those dies, so of course you'll be able to follow along. But if you don't have the dies, then I'm afraid it's too late. The tutorial would be too hard to follow with fussy cutting, I'm afraid. So that's not going to be available to people without the dies already. Now today I'm going to be using this stamp set, Textures and Frames, which is still available. And I'm also going to be using some die cuts from the Summer Shadows dies. This I don't think is available any longer. So you can see, oh, also sadly, I'm afraid that the Delicate Dahlia set may not be available, but I'll have to double check on that one. So you see, you know, we're right down to the final days and things run out, and that's why it's so important for you to jump on these specials when they happen. But I want to give you a sneak preview for those of you who are interested in the Counting Sheep board game. I want to show you the box that it comes in. I've finished decorating the box. This is just a little note card that you can use to present the game to your little friend that you might want to be playing the game with. This is a family game that is perfect for very young children. So if you've got some little children in your life that like to play games, this would be a really fun project. And maybe if they're a little bit older, they might actually help you make the game, which would be really fun. So the box looks like this. This is the cover. And then around the sides, we have these wonderful sheep on each side panel. And they're inside their little corral here. All right, and it's a very sturdy box. And the lid also has these lovely clouds, which are part of the die set that are applied to both the top side and the bottom side. And I'm not going to show you the entire game, but I will show you the inside of the lid cover because I think it's really cute. And there's a little sheep inside reaching for a star. Okay, and the rest of the box, along with the photo tutorial, the instructions, the measurements, how to put it all together, as well as directions of how to play the game, are all part of the tutorial. And you can find that on my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com. And that's up right now. And so please go there, subscribe to Notes so that you can be notified of all the new classes and workshops I have coming up. And yeah, you'll be on the mailing list. And you can, if you have any questions, just go ahead and send me an email. I'll be happy to help you. All right, so today I'm going to be using this stamp set. And this is what I think of as a designer's stamp set because you have all these sort of basic design elements which can be used in a lot of different ways. And I need to make a very special card today to give to one of my downlines that just promoted, and I'm so excited for her. So congratulations, Candy. That's so awesome. And I'm going to be making her congratulatory card, and I'm going to take you all along with me so you can see how I go about making one of these. I'm just checking my settings, making sure that everything's working properly, and it is. I see people out there. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Ginger. Yeah, Ginger. Oh, you did. You got the sheep and dies early. Fantastic. I hope you're going to take advantage of the board game. It's absolutely adorable. I think you'll really like it. And it'll give you lots of ideas for future projects as well. All right, so let's get started today. I have a couple of things that I've gotten ready. So let's zoom you out. This is the very vanilla note card and envelope. This is the standard size, measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I've got a couple of mats already cut out. This is the cinnamon cider and the pear pizzazz. Okay, and we're going to be working on the pear pizzazz mat with the stamp set. So for this, I'm going to get out my piece of scrap paper so I can get all to the edges with the inks. And the supplies I have are, I've got the mini glue dots, the double-sided tear tape, I've got some Versamark ink, I've got the water-based ink in Old Olive, and I have one of these blending brushes that I use for my green inks. I also have a number of the stamps from the stamp set all mounted up and ready to go. So let's get those out. And what I want to do is I want to do a tone-on-tone background on this mat because I have a lot of stuff that I'm going to be adhering to the front of the card. It's going to be a vertical card, but I want to have a nice sort of design in the background. So for that, I know that this stamp pad is pretty juicy, so I'm going to stamp off. And I'm just going to use this instead. I think I'm going to need my my pad. So this is actually the piercing pad that I have sandwiched between the scrap paper. So it gives me a nice cushiony surface to do my stamping impressions on. So let's do a few of these. And I'm just using different generations of inks to get a lot of tonality. There we go. I'm not too worried about the center of the card because a lot of that's going to be covered up. And then I have this stamp that has the 3 streaks on it. So I'd like to put some of that on here. And I think I'll go the other way too. Got a little crisscross pattern. This would be very fun for making a kind of a funky checkered fabric design. Okay, I think that's as far as I want to go with the stamping for now, and I'm just going to use my blending brush, and I'm going to come in from the edges. There we go. And I'm going to get a little bit darker on the corners. There we go. All right. I'll just make sure that I get those sides. Okay. So I think that's it for the old olive ink. Now I'm going to go for my Versamark, and I have this spatter stamp here that I want to use with the Versamark and the gold embossing powder, because I'm going to do a little bit of heat embossing on this as well. So I'm just going to make sure I've got plenty of Versamark on here. And then I'm just going to move my stamp around randomly around the edges. Okay, and I'll get my gold powder out and we'll see how that looks. Okay, now I'm going to mute you while I turn on my heat tool so you don't have to listen to that. Okay. Okay, now what I want to do, I think you can see that the gold is picking up the light, very pretty. What I want to do is I want to put a little edge around here. So the way I'm going to do that is using my stamp pad. I'm just going to gently go around all the edges. Get a little bit of the Versamark ink, just a tiny bit. Okay, just looking closely to see if it's on there. It looks pretty good. Okay. All right, here comes the heat tool one more time. Okay, so that is my background, and I'm very happy with this. And if you look, let's see, let me put something behind here. I don't know if the camera will pick up that beautiful gold gilded edging around the card, but it looks very pretty. And I think, you know, all these little details make a big difference. Okay, so there is my card mat, and I'm going to be putting this together like that, so that there's just a little bit of a border of the apple cider. I'm sorry, not apple cider, it's cider cinnamon. And so that's going to have just this beautiful little pinstripe border around the edges. But before I glue that on there, I have to do some work on top of here. So I'm going to get my goodie bag out, and I've got all sorts of wonderful things in here. So let me just get organized. So I've got these gold foil flowers that I die cut, which are, these are from, let me check the name of it. This is from the Summer Shadows die set, and this also coordinates with a stamp set that's in the annual catalog. And I have this adorable little label that I made. So the frame for this is this frame in the Textures and Frames stamp set. And then for the sentiment, "You're amazing," I used the Counting Sheep stamp set, and that fits very nicely in there. I have a piece of the gold shimmer ribbon, and I have all of these flowers to put together. So to do that, I'm just going to use a glue dot on each one. And I'm going to just kind of curl that up so it's smaller. Oops, before I do that, I see I've got a couple of little things to poke out here. There we go. All right. So now I've just scrunched up my glue dot, and I'm just going to place that near the center of the flower, and I'm going to do that 2 more times. All right, so now this beautiful, let me get a background here so you can see better. There you go. So this beautiful element now can be combined with this one. But before I do that, I'm just going to give the edges a little bit of a curl because I want these inner pieces to sort of come up. So let me see if I can make them curl up a little bit. There we go. I'm just using my thumb and my bone folder to sort of shape these a bit. Okay, and now we can match this up, and let's see, I think it goes like this. Actually, I'm going to stagger it a little bit because I want it to stand out more. Here we go. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Very pretty. All right. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing with this other flower that's in profile view. So just give that a slight bend. And then these the other way. Add my glue dots. Let's get this extra bit away. There's 1. 2. Whoops. Stuck to my thumb, of course. There we go. I'm going to slightly offset this a little bit. There. Okay. And then finally, I have this leaf. And I'm going to do just the same thing. Let me give that a little bit of a curl. And these are very fine die shapes, so I'm being very careful not to pull it apart at the stem. Scrunch up this glue dot, and I'm just going to put that right where these leaves intersect at the base. Put that together. And there we go with our doubling up of those gold foil accents. Now, my as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be sending this card to my wonderful downline, Candy, to congratulate her for promoting. And what I do with all of my team members is I give them each a peacock feather when they promote. Okay, and this is from one of my peacocks. And the way the card will go together is going to look something like this. So I'll have these beautiful floral accents around like that. And then I'm going to have this little tag. Let me zoom you in. I'm going to have this little tag in the center here. But I want to apply this ribbon in the back. And so that needs to go just under this line here. And for that, I'm going to be using my double-sided tape. So I'm going to put a piece right across the front, like so. Give that a good burnish. And where's my, there we go. Lift up that backing paper. And now I'm just going to put down my ribbon. And this ribbon's really sparkly. And then on the back, I'm going to take a little piece of the double stick tape again and just add a few little pieces so that I can secure those tails. Actually, I don't want to lift those up just yet because I have to do something first. So just hold off on that. And what I want to do here is I want to pierce this and turn it into a little label. So I'm going to use my piercing tool, and I'm just going to put two tiny holes in there, just like that. I think you can see them. All right, and then I'm going to take my peacock feather and I'm going to adhere that down with a couple of glue dots. So just right at the base of the feather. There's one. And two. And these quills are kind of angular. They don't lay flat. So you want to make sure that you trim off as much as you don't need. Actually, I'll hold off before I do that. Let's just get it positioned. There we go. So I'm just going to snip off this kind of bulky end so that lays flat a little bit better. Hey Linda, thanks for joining us. Yeah, the colors are beautiful. This is, so that the ink is Old Olive, but the cardstock is Pear Pizzazz. And there's this wonderful green iridescence in the peacock feather, which I'm trying to accent. And I think it works pretty well together. And all right, so let's get, I want to get my gold flowers on there. And I think I'm going to use a dimensional for this. So let me get, let's see what we've got here. Those are wrong ones. Okay, these are minis. I want to get a, hold on a second while I dig out my standard ones. All right, they've gone missing, so I guess I'm using the minis. So I'll put 3 of these little ones around here. There we go. So that's going to go here. And then my profile flower. And that's going to be facing down and out this way. And then finally, these leaves, and I really like these leaves a lot, very pretty. So I'll put a dimensional on each leaf. Let me move that one over a little bit. There we go. Okay. All right, it's starting to shape up here. So I'm going to just tuck this one under. Like so. Okay, and then finally I have this little flower, and I'm just going to put that on with some glue to keep it flat. So I'll put some spots of glue like so, and I'll use my tweezer to place this one. That can go right there. And I have this beautiful little 2-leaf accent. Sorry, I'm off camera there. Let me zoom you out a tiny bit more so you don't miss anything. There we go. And now this one I'm going to slip underneath there and just have that going off like that. So there is the gold. And I'm just going to do a little cleanup here because things are getting kind of chaotic on my desk. So let's get rid of all these little bits. Okay. Now, what I like to do with my feathers is I like to sew them on. And for that, I'm going to get out my piercing pad again. I want this tag. I'm looking for my piercing tool. There it is. Okay. So I want the tag, the holes that I put in the tag to straddle the feather. Okay, so I'm just going to use my tag to line that up, being careful not to shift it. And I'm going to add 2 more holes, this time to the cardstock. And I don't know if you can see that very well, but the holes are right here. Okay, and I have my needle here with the gold metallic thread, and I'm going to go through my tag and my card base, and I'll keep a tail hanging off the front there, and then come back up through my card base and my tag. I just want to make sure I've got plenty of tail here on the end, and I'm just going to do that another time. Stitch that through. And I think I'm gonna go for 3. All right. So there. My little tag is now stitched on there securely. The peacock feather is stitched on there securely. I'm going to tie this in a double knot. There we go. All right, now I can remove my backing strips for the ribbon and just tuck those ends in. There's one. And 2. And I think I'm just going to trim off a little bit of this excess. We don't need all this back here. That's okay. See if we can get one more card out of this glue bottle. Okay. My cinnamon cider mat, and this is just an 1/8 of an inch reveal. So I want to get this on there nice and straight so that we can see a little bit of that contrasting color on all sides. All right, and this picks up on the coppery color on the inside of the peacock feather very nicely. There we go. Give that a little press. Okay, we're getting down to the very end here of the glue. Just enough. Okay. So there's Candy's card. And it needs one more final embellishment. And what I have for her is this beautiful little charm that I made. And let's see if I can fix that so you can see it a little bit better. So there it is. It's a little silver leaf with a golden crystal hanging below it. And this is a charm that that Candy will be able to put onto her scissor dangle. So all the people who are on my team, my design team, who promote to Bronze Elite get one of these dangles to put on their scissors. And then they get a different charm for each level that they reach. So in this case, this is the silver level, and I'm just going to see if I can slip that through my string like so. And then I'm going to tie that into place. And actually, I'm going to, before I tie the bow, I just want to put a knot at the end of these strings because they do fray, and I like a little bit of fringe at the end, but not all the way. So let's just see if I can do this tiny little bow for you. Here we go. Tie a knot at this end. And there it is. So that's my project for today. And that was using the Textures and Frames stamp set, which you can get free with a $50 order or more. And I will have all the information posted below and a link to my online store. So if you would like to participate in the Sale-A-Bration promotion and get some free items, you'll be able to do that. And there'll be lots of other information on my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com. Please subscribe and check it out. And let me just check and see if there's any other questions here. Hey, Tommy, Shelley. Oh, thank you so much. Hey, Kelly. Yeah, thank you for liking my charms. I make those. They're all wire wrap beads, and it's a lot of fun. All right, everybody, have a great week. I will be back tomorrow at 12. Actually, maybe not at 12 noon. I have to check on that. Stay tuned for the notifications. But every day, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'm going to be posting another project for the Sale-A-Bration burst. So I'll see you then. Stay well, stay happy, and stay creative.